This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
I was at Yankee Stadium quite a bit last year. My buddy Keith Kantrowitz gets great tickets. I'm a Met fan, but not really. I don't know. The Yankees are better to me than the Mets are. I think Randy Levine is better to me than Stevie Cohen is. Kind of like the Panthers with Vinny Viola over the Rangers. That was Nick Saban at the White House on Friday. Randy was there. And yes, Corey Zelnick and Heshe Jorgenbaum and Joe Abboud. I see all the photos. Those were great memories. Anyway, Randy Levine is the president of your 94-win New York Yankees. He was at the White House on Friday. President Trump, Mike Johnson, Marco Rubio, Tiger Woods, Nick Saban, Charlie Ward, all these amazing athletes and people. So with that said, here he is, my friend Randy Levine. Mr. Levine, good morning. How are you?
How are you, Sid? It's really nice to talk to you.
Great to talk to you, too.
Everything is good.
Everything is good. I'm glad to hear that. This is nice. A little radical departure from Mamdani or Iran or Trump. Talk about something nice. And look, I agree with everything Nick Saban said there, and all you guys. You all spoke. You all said the same thing. I'm tired of seeing 26-year-old quarterbacks in college football. I don't even like the college basketball as much as I used to. I'll watch the tournament. I'll get excited, but it's not like I'm watching Chris Mullin and Michael Jordan play for 3 years. So college sports really does need a complete change. How do you think it went, Randy, at the White House on Friday?
I think it went great. What happened is college sports is now leaking into academia and providing real educations for students. You know, the point of going to college is to get an education. And what's happening is that colleges are now spending so much money in their athletic departments that they cannot sustain the amount of money that they're spending. So they're reaching into academic funds, endowments, or raising actually fees on students. I mean, just last week, right here locally, Rutgers, because of all the losses from the academic department, $90 million, had to impose additional student fees, and there were other monies taken that should be going to education. Right. In fact, what's happening here is you're going to have a situation that you could bankrupt a lot of colleges. Plus, the system's out of whack. You have big schools being able to pay big money through collectives that small schools can't, and what happened is there's, as you see 1-year transfer portals, it's better free agency than any professional sport. Guys 27 years old, who should be in the NFL, still in college playing football, 7 years instead of, 4 or 5. So all of this was going on. There's been legislative attempts in the Congress forever. It's getting really, really nowhere. So everyone started to say there was only one person who could bring everybody together and try and coalesce around new rules in order to fix this problem, because it needs to be fixed. An AD, it was very well known, told me on Friday that if we don't fix this, the colleges can wind up in a savings and loan type of situation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Where it's a house of cards.
Yep.
So the president brought, everybody together, represented presidents of universities, athletic directors, professional sports executives such as myself and Lou Lamoriello and Adam Silver, and college coaches like Coach Saban and Urban Meyer. And the idea here was to come together. We have a committee to come up with a solution, consensus, in order to fix this. And it's going to be on two paths. The president is going going to put out an executive order to try and push this forward. But similarly, we need legislation, specifically antitrust legislation, so that all of these conferences can get together along with the schools and come up with a system that is very fair. Because what's happening, in addition to what I told you, is money is going to football and going to lesser extent basketball, and all of the non-revenue sports, Olympic sports, women's sports, are being cut because these athletic departments can't sustain it.
Yeah.
I'll give you one example where one of my players on the Yankees, a very well-known player, called me and said, thanks for doing this because I've been giving a lot of money to NILs, gave a lot of money, and, second-string quarterback got $1.5 million in transfer 3 months later, while a friend of mine's daughter is a rower who's training for the Olympics. They took her scholarship away, and now she has to go into debt.
Terrible.
But that's happening all over,
Yep.
and, president is now involved, and, when he gets involved, he usually solves things, and our group is all behind him. It's a bipartisan group. This isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. I've spoken to Senator Schumer and Leader Jeffries. They're on board and trying to, in effect, get something. There's opposition, the usual suspects, the trial lawyers who like making money, from this, and some agents, not the good ones, the respectable ones, but some of them, you could get a situation here. They're already recruiting 12 and 13-year-old kids.
Right.
Reminds me like in baseball.
Yep.
In the Dominican Republic, the Buscones do that and, start selling people. So it's a serious problem, and we're going to have to solve it. But we got a lot of people behind us.
Good people, too. This is the president of the Yankees. I love this guy, Randy Levine. All right, Randy, 2 weeks from tomorrow, you guys are going to be in San Francisco. 94-win season last year. People forget you ended the season red hot. You won 10 of your last 11 just to make sure you tied Toronto for first place. Now, they enjoyed more postseason success. The Blue Jays, they went to the World Series, eventually losing to the Dodgers. At any rate, there's a lot of folks who believe that you guys should be as good as any team inside the American League. We know that division's improved. Baltimore got better. Added Alonso, a few other parts, Boston, Toronto. But I think expectations are still high for your ball club. This, Randy, despite the fact that you're not going to have Garrett Cole till, I don't know, probably June. You're not going to have Carlos Rodon till probably May. You're not going to have Anthony Volpe till probably May. So injuries play a little bit of a part in the early schedule for you. But are your expectations as high as the analysts I've been speaking to the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think we have a really, really great team, very competitive team. Gary Cole looks great in spring training. We're going to take it slow with him. Carlos Rondon pitched yesterday, and he's a little bit ahead of schedule, but, it's a long season. We were very competitive, came very, very close to going farther, advancing farther in October. This year we'll have Garrett Cole for a good portion. And, some of the guys we picked up at the trade deadline last year and now be with us. And so, it's a great division. The Orioles got better. The Red Sox got better. Toronto got better. And I think we got better. So you got to play the games on the field. And usually what it comes down to, Sid, is the teams that stay healthy for the longest period of time. They're successful. And then once you get to October, you get into the tournament. Who's hot for those 3 weeks? Right.
That's it. You're right. Now, offensively, you brought back Bellinger. He got good money. We know that. Goldschmidt is back this year, so he can play some first with Ben Rice. I also like Ahmed Rosario. People don't talk much about him, but with Volpe being hurt, he can play short. He can play third, so you get some versatility there. But for the most part, Randy, this is the same lineup. He also brought back Trent Grisham, what a big power year. But this is pretty much the same lineup as we saw last year. And with this ball club, when you guys are bashing home runs, nobody could beat you. But a little bit of feast or famine at times offensively. So are you worried that maybe you didn't add enough offensively during this offseason?
No, I think we're as I said, it's going to be a little different team. Our pitching staff is incredibly strong, and we're going to have Garrett. And Cam Schittler is going to have, he's got a lot of experience. We added a terrific pitcher from Miami.
Weathers, yeah.
Starting pitcher,
Ryan Weathers, yeah.
And, as I said, I think Ben Rice is on the verge of really having a big breakout year. I think, he hits the ball harder than anyone. I think he really, really is good. Volpe, I think, is going to get healthy. And now that his shoulder is being repaired, I think he's going to be much more consistent. So I like our team. As you said, we won 94 games. Now we're going to have some of our good pitching back. We have great pitching depth. And, we have Bednar. He'll be closing now, for the entire year. So it's going to be a very tough fight, but I like our chances.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.